All right, everyone. Welcome to the 346th edition of the Holy Backboard Podcast. I am Dustin here in Rip City, and I got my man.
Sage here, face pretty much shaved, baldy head, looking like a chubby golden child. I'm ready to talk about Scoot Henderson and our if our top tens have changed, what has changed in it, and definitely some things have been moved around for me. And then I have a new number 10, so
I've got
very
my
excited to talk.
Trailblazers dad
Oh
popping
shit!
in honor of all of the dads out there this weekend for Father's Day. Obviously, it's an important day for me, my first Father's Day. My team at work got me this coffee mug, and it was really funny. Their reasoning, they're like, "Yeah, you're a dad who likes the Blazers, but I also like to think that maybe you're on one of your sons is on the team, and that's what the Trailblazers dad stands for." So I thought that was pretty funny, especially because I'm 38 years old and I'm older than every player on the team. Finally, now that Carmelo has left, so
Bro, I'm almost. I'm sure I'm
you're
older than
closing in
every on
there.
some rosters for
You and
sure.
Dame are neck and neck, big dog.
I think
Uh,
Dame's older than me.
Dame's older than you by like a year.
I wait.
Dame was born in 1990. You were born in 1991.
Fuck. Okay. So I didn't DJ PSU games as a freshman. I DJ'd PSU games as a junior because I saw rookie Damian Lillard. I DJ'd for rookie Damian Lillard, but I guess I was much older than I thought at that time. Shit, I am old.
You
Uh,
are you're old. You're old as hell.
yeah.
Just like I am.
Not
But
right now with a shaved face. I look like a hard 26.
yeah, I would say late 20s.
I'll take it. Eh?
Well, mid to late. I'll give you mid to late 20s. Yes, I pushed for this episode. I know you're dying to get the mock draft out. We will, but we have hyped up this man, Scoot Henderson, for so long. I mean,
Mm,
we have basically said treating him to the equivalent of Victor Wembanyama. Like if he's on the board, we're not trading him for damn near anyone.
mm.
So we have to do a future Friday on Scoot Henderson. We will do that, and then we are going to unveil our updated and final big board, just a top 10, just a quick rundown, just because there's so much variance and movement in both of our boards, even the day after we released it, just because this class is so unconventional, and I think there is a lot of bunching after the top two, so we will get to that, and then obviously draft is Thursday. We will do our best to get our mock draft out as soon as possible. It will be a full first round mock draft. Those are always the funnest episodes of the year for myself to personally record. But Sage, without further ado,
And the hardest for me to edit and master.
let's get into Scoot Henderson. He is a 6'2", basically just a tank of a point guard. They have him listed at 195. He honestly looks just a little bit bigger. He is absolutely just built for a person of his age. 19 years old. Did not go to the combine to get his measurements. The Ringer says he has a 6'9" wingspan. We might have to take their word for it for just this purpose. But he does play bigger than his size. Played at the G League Ignite. I think something a lot of fans don't understand. This isn't your average one and done high school prospect, goes to college, and now you're drafting him. This kid has been playing professional basketball. And when I mean professional basketball, I'm not saying he's getting an NIL deal to play in the Big Ten. He is playing professional basketball. He's getting paid about $500,000 a year for the G League Ignite.
For
G
two
League
years.
Ignite is the same court, the same length from three. You're going up against 28, 29, 30-year-old men. He played on the same team as Dyson Daniels last year. He's played with NBA caliber.
Jaden Hardy, too.
Played with Leonard Miller. Played with City Sissoko. Like, he is playing with future and former NBA caliber talent. So this is if you're looking at a talent competition perspective, it's better than what Brandon Miller did at the SEC in Alabama. It's clearly better than the Thompson twins at Overtime Elite. Like, honestly, it's a little baffling to see so many people try to poke holes in his game because, Sage, if he was a white European with the last name like Hendersonovich,
Mm.
he would be like the odds on, like, we're taking this guy number one or number two. Like there's so much of a positive stigma with young Europeans playing professional basketball, but because it's such a new concept for American born players to do it, and especially for 2 years like Scoot
Mm-hmm.
has, I think he's getting knocked
Well,
unfairly.
and I don't think people watch G League Ignite, or they don't watch G League, period. So
They
those
don't watch
people
G
that
League, but Sage, they weren't watching. People weren't watching Luka Doncic play live
no,
either. But
no.
they took that his production as gospel because it was perceived to be better competition, and Europeans tend to play professional earlier. But he's just doing it as an American, and I think he is starting to. I think with his production at the league level in this year and the upcoming years, he is going to change that perception that the G League is a great traditional path to take, and there are the benefits of doing so. And I think you're going to start to see players get boosted for
Mm.
going that route. But quickly, let's look at his statistics for this year. Played 25 games, 30 minutes a night. Again, 48-minute games, not 40. 17 and a half points, shot 44 from the field, 32 from three on about three attempts, 75 from the line. Got to the line about three times a game. 6.5 assists, 5 rebounds, a half a block, a steal, 3.3 turnovers. And I think it's important to note that what the pros of playing at the G League, and there are some cons, right? I think when you go the traditional collegiate route, there's probably more of an incentive to win, right? You're playing for a national championship.
Mm.
But G League, there's not really a G League championship. You're really just there for development. And the G
Yeah.
League Ignite is strictly a development team. And you're not really trying to build a roster. You're not trying to go out and win some midseason tournament. It's strictly a development process to get you ready for the NBA. So I think there's even more to Scoot because there's just not a lot of skin in the game. Like, he definitely is a professional and showed up, but
But I
you're
would say that he took it another level with his intensity.
I would agree with that, but I still think like you can do that, but like it's not like you're playing, Duke,
No,
Carolina.
no.
Like there's not that pressure. And I think that's the one thing that I could see is like even in Europe, there's pressure to win for those teams because you look at those crowds and they're going ham, much
Oh yeah.
larger and louder than any
Yeah.
NBA arena. Like they take that shit seriously. G League, you watch these highlights, there's like 1,500 people in the stands. There's just not the pressure to perform.
Mm.
I'm not worried that he's going to live up to the hype or the pressure is going to get to him, but I would say that is a perceived and realistic knock on going the G League route. You're not playing with any pressure. You're getting paid.
Yeah.
You go out there. You're basically doing open runs and scrimmages, similar to overtime elite. So that's the one knock that I would say. If we're looking at big boards, Tankathon has him at number 2. The Ringer has him at number 3 behind Brandon Miller. I would say that I do think his stock has taken a bit of a hit over the course of the year
I've
because
seen people say some wild shit about Scoot. So yeah,
they do. Because last year, Sage, we were hearing, okay, it's Wemby 1, Scoot 2. Scoot's going number 1 in like every other draft. Like you heard those names years in advance.
Mm.
And you don't usually do that. Like we're not hearing names in advance of the 2024 draft class right now, right? Like we didn't really hear the names in advance for the 2022 draft class. Like it was just like, we have heard these two guys, percolating and marinating and simmering for quite some time. But whether it was maybe not the breakout year that people were expecting at the G League, or maybe Brandon Miller kind of burst on the scene, it's like, hey, there's another guy over there that we now think could challenge Scoot because clearly Wembanyama's in his own category.
And the ease of watchability for Alabama too
It's easier
has
to
to be a
watch.
factor. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
easy.
absolutely. It's easier for national people to watch. It's easier for casual people to watch. You can turn on the ESPN. He's right there front and center. ESPN is not covering G League games. There's no highlights of that.
Except for those 2 Wimby games.
Yes,
but yeah.
I would agree with that. So
I don't think I've watched like 5 or 6 G League Ignite games, but it was never live. So like, like if someone has it on YouTube, I watched the Pelicans G League affiliate play them. Like, so there's not that, oh my God, I have to watch G League Ignite play against the Warriors G League team. That's going to take years and years and years for people
if ever.
to normalize to, hey, I got to watch Scoot Henderson, or I have to watch Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga, two top 10 picks, play. It's just so different than the college or even the Europe. I mean, like the NBA TV broadcasted Wemby's games. They didn't do that for Scoot. So the ease of access for Jarris and Brandon is just so much higher than the three players that did overtime or G League. Like I have to like I found them like weeks later trying to find the G League Ignite or Overtime Elite. Like, and then the Overtime Elites can't, like, the cameras are weird comparison to what we're used to. So it's just like it's gonna take a long time for these prospects that you choose this way to earn money and become professionals to be on the same level as a Brandon Miller, which I think is silly.
Let's talk about what he does well.
I actually took notes this time.
Scratch that. Not well. What he does elite, because there are some things that he has that you just can't teach. I think he is first. Let's just go to his body. Like he's ready to play in the NBA right now. Like he's thick, he's muscular, he's wide. I think if Portland does draft him, clearly it's not ideal. But if Dame is staying and they have no intentions of trading him, and you want to take the best player available, and that is Scoot Henderson, you can make it work a little bit better because he's just much more of a thick player than Anthony Simons, and he is so freakishly athletic, and but he's also, this is again a little cliche, he's a little poetry in motion because he's so athletic, but his body control is so impressive when he gets into the lane. Like he's able to explode and he can finish in the bat of an eye, but if he sees multiple defenders, he's able to contort his body. I mean, there's some clips going up against Wembanyama, like getting the shot off and finishing. So he's really strong at finishing around the rim. And I don't think he gets enough credit for his mid-range jump shot. Like,
it's great.
I think the mid-range is a lost art. I was watching throwback highlights. Maximilian, who I follow on Twitter for a long time, does an excellent YouTube channel. Put up a throwback, January 22nd, 2000, Blazers-Lakers. It's like, I'm definitely going to watch that. 20 minutes, and like there's not a ton of threes, but like there's some, like, but you've got like Pippen taking middies, Sabas taking middies, like Kobe pulling up for a 20-footer. Like if you're a good shooter, that is a good shot. And sure enough, the score still ended like in the 90s. Like it's not a huge this massive.
It also shows that he has touch too. Like
he
has
have touch. So he's not 75. He shoots 75 from the line, which is I think a decent indicator, and he does have good form on his shot. So I am not concerned about his 3-point shooting at all. Like, I think that's just going to take a little time. But again, he's also shooting these numbers. These aren't collegiate 3-point percentage. This is what he would shoot in the NBA because that's the exact same dimensions. So that's not too bad if you're getting low 30s. Like, there's definitely room for improvement, but we're not talking about an Amen level Thompson shot, mechanical issue that really needs a lot of honing in on. Like these workouts, the form looks great, the mechanics look great. Like he's able to get into a shot. He's so impressive, Sage. Like
I'm what player that he would ever face could stop him from getting to the hoop? I seriously doubt there was a single player that he's ever faced that would stop him from getting paint touches. So if nobody can physically stop you, why would you ever go away from, I'm just going to bully my way to the paint, or I'm going to outcraft you to the paint? I think that his shot is fine. The fact that he can hit pull-up middies plus his free throw, it shows that he has touch. So it's not like he's Anthony Black just letting it spray. I think that he does have touch. It's just not his strength. His strength is paint touches. That's what he's like. Pick and roll and isolation, getting to the paint is what his bread and butter is going to be in every level he's ever played in. Like, I think he's the best pick and roll guy in this draft. And there's two really good pick and roll threats in Anthony Black and Amen Thompson. Scoot's just better because he could score for himself as well as use the pick and roll to find other players. Like once he gets paint touches, his vision, like I know his athleticism's an A+, and the people that say it's a B don't watch him. But when he gets into the paint, his vision is so impressive to find shooters. It's better than Dame. It's natural. It's I'm getting paint touches. If you can't stop me, I'm getting this dunk. But if you help, I'm hitting that corner shooter or I'm dumping it off to that big man. Watching him initiate pick and roll, and this league is all about pick and roll, is extremely impressive. And who Jeter and that staff knows what the NBA is going to be. Like you see teams, elite college teams, not run pick and roll that much. G League Ignite knows where the game is going and helped Scoot with his development on where it's going. Like we talk about Amin Thompson needing to have that Jamie Moore changeup. Scoot's got that. He has his fastball. He has his changeup. He has his curve. He has his knuckle curve. What a slider. Like all of the strikeout pitches. He has it in playmaking. He has it in initiating offense. Like his bag is fucking awesome. Like you're talking about a point guard who slashes as well as a SAR and playmakes as well as a men in one body. That's fucking amazing. Like he's the best pick and roll slasher, finisher, passer. Fucking A, he's him.
Yeah, his handle is NBA ready right now. And I think one thing that's not getting talked about enough is when you watch him, he has massive hands. He's able just to palm the basketball almost like Kobe or Jordan or even Kawhi. Like when you see them kind of like sidestep a defender and like they're standing in the triple threat position to the side and they've just got the ball extended, he can maneuver the ball like that. And that is such an advantage because you can dot passes without having to bring your guide hand over, and you're able to get the velocity, you're able to get the accuracy. Like it just gives him another dimension for that floor vision. You mentioned his slashing ability. I think he can play off ball a bit because of his athleticism. You have to keep an eye on him. He does have off ball potential.
Just in a perfect world, you have him be your main guy, but if he's a blazer, he's gonna have to play some. Yeah,
which is I think why a lot of people are mocking him to Charlotte because they say LaMelo can play a little off ball. I think Scoot can play a little bit of off ball. It just makes a lot of sense. I think there's more to the eye than what people are seeing with Scoot Henderson. I think you have to just dive a little bit deeper and see what's there. But the most impressive thing is not even on the court. It's not any physical trait. It's all mental. It's all charisma. He just has it. He has that unquantifiable. It's not tangible. He has this it factor. He has this aura around him. Like he is a natural born leader.
Mm-hmm.
He has the will to win. Like he has every cliche that you want in floor general. Like he has it. Just listen to his interview after that workout with the Blazers. He is so personable. He has just so much gravitas around him. Like there's the Brandon Roy, the Damian Lillard vibes just like drip off of this player. Like I watched a Players Tribune video with him and it was like I was watching License to Lillard 11 years ago. Like he is him. Like that there's no underselling that. I know a lot of people throw that terminology out there a lot. There's no underselling that. Like he really has everything you want in the face of a franchise. Do I think Shaedon Sharpe has higher talent? Yes. But I think Scoot Henderson would be the alpha, would be the leader of that team. He would be the one that is...
it's personality types too. How many times have you
Shaden's more Kawhi and Scoot's more, Dame.
Alpha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to force if Shaden's quiet, you don't want to force him to do something he's not familiar with.
Let him be Tim Duncan. Let him just rack up everything. Look at Jokic. Jokic is not that personable. Like he's like, I'm just gonna chill. Like if you watched that the trophy presentation after Game 5, he's just chilling in the back with his daughter. Like you've got like Jamal Murray. Like Jamal Murray is like really boisterous. He's like feeling himself big time. Like he's cool with letting Jamal do his thing. He's just going to go hang out in the back. The group photo, he's like all the way to the back and to the left. He's talking about just wanting to go back and watch his horses, go to Serbia. Like that's just him. And they're not trying to change him. Doesn't mean he still can't be the best player in the world. It just means you need a good mixture of personality types. And I just think Scoot He has it. Like
Mm.
he has been a professional for 2 years now. There's going to be no bullshit with him. You don't have to worry about his maturity. You don't have to worry about coaching him up for interviews. You don't have to worry about him fucking up off of the field, off of the court. Like
Are you
he's ready.
interested for Brandon Miller's interview?
I can't wait.
Yeah,
But
because
I
that
would say I'm not going to draft a player based on how good their interview is or not,
no,
because
but it's
I think
interesting.
Kawhi Leonard would have been a horrible interview in 2011,
Mm-hmm.
and look how good he's been. So you have to take and give, right? Like you can say, oh, this was a great interview. Like the Thompson twins are awesome at interviewing, but I'm not just going to draft them just because of that. I think it's a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
No, I mean like Brandon Miller's gonna have to talk about shit that no other player in this draft will ever have to talk about. So it's
but
just gonna be interesting to see how he communicates.
I do think if they do draft Brandon and you have Shaden, 5 years down the line, those are the faces of your franchise. You may have to go out and find more of a front facing leader
Yeah.
for those two. So I think that there is something there. Um, but defensively, I don't think we saw a lot from Scoot. Um, I
I
think
mean
the
the 6'2"
measurables,
net
I think
him
the
being
measurables are there. I think at the NBA level, I think he's going to be fine. I just don't think it really popped on tape, and I think really there's only a few prospects every year that pop on tape when it comes to defense, and it's usually because they're defensive specialists. Like I don't think we ever see there's not many two-way defenders on tape, right? That they just not at this level right now. Even Shaden, kind of like you watch these guys at EYBL, they're just kind of cooling, but he clearly had showed potential as a defender at this level. So I think you just have to look at how does he move laterally? Does he have the will to be a good defender? How is he in intelligence wise? Can he grab like off ball concepts? Because we've seen off ball take young players so long to understand. Like how does he fight through screens? Like, I think he has all of the traits that you want in a good defender. Is he ever going to be all Marcus Smart? I probably don't
mm,
think so because of the burden he's going to shoulder offensively, and I think that's what you see a lot in today's NBA. There's not many first team all
6'2"
NBA guards
guards. Yeah.
that are also first team all defense. Like that's what made Jordan just unreal because he was fantastic at both. But as long as he's a positive and sometimes maybe a plus defender, you're going to be just fine with him. I don't think you're going to see teams hunt him like they would a Grady Dick. I
No,
don't
no.
think you're going to see teams. I also think he has a lot of Damian in him in the sense that Dame's a good post defender. You're not going to be able to back Scoot down. Like
No,
Scoot
he's too strong. Here's what I have as a
is a
note.
trunk. Like he is just a big tree. Like you're not going to uproot him.
He just has the fire defensively to make up for lack of size and so with the fire that he plays with, I don't have any real scare. I'm not scared that he's going to be bullied because of his strength and speed. So it's just the fire that he plays with that I know that even though he has the weakness of being 6'2" in a league where, it's 6'4" and above, basically.
Is six
He,
two really that small for a point guard? I keep hearing that, and I'm just like, I get it if you're playing the two, but to me that just seems like average point guard height. Like
honestly, well, he probably is going to have to guard some twos if he's a Blazer. He probably will have to guard some twos.
at a two, yes, I think that's
Yeah.
undersized, but like people are just saying, oh, he's only 6'2". I'm like, ah, 6'2" is like totally fine. Like Isaiah Thomas was 5'10". Chris
But
Paul's like
but okay, well,
5'10".
Chris Paul's just different. Like he
Well,
actually
we
is a
believe
good
Scoot
defender.
is just different, and he's
Yeah.
got what 3 4 inches on him. So like I think the size is being completely overblown, especially in a draft where everyone is a freak. He's a freak in his own right in
Well,
terms
yeah,
of
he's an A+ athlete with the effort. It's just sometimes you wish he was 6'4". But I think that size is a little bit of a factor, but I don't ever expect him to get hunted. It just it just isn't what he's in his DNA. He's just gonna compete at a level. He even said it like, if I don't have, I'm gonna give you everything. If I don't give you 110%, I'm gonna give you 120% tomorrow. And I think that the desire is just gonna make him at bare minimum a good defender.
all right, let's just go floor and ceiling. What do you have as a floor? I think he has a really safe floor, to be
Yeah,
honest.
man, that's a John Morant where there isn't it attitude problem. I don't like we're talking about an all-star point guard that's hyper athletic. So Ja Morant or a good defending Russell Westbrook, like it's high either way.
Yeah, it is really high. I was watching a ton of Scoot in preparation for this, and one of the YouTube creators that I was watching made a good comparison. Like body type, no, but play style, he plays a lot like De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
He's getting downhill. He is fast. He is pushing the ball. So I think if you like a thicker
All-star
De'Aaron
point guard.
thicker, more athletic De'Aaron Fox. I think ceiling is probably D Rose minus the injuries, and that's an MVP. Like I think,
I believe in his shot more than Derek too, and I think that his defense is better.
yeah, I think Derek also played in a different era, even though
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like that long ago when he was the MVPs, like 10, 11 years ago. But like the
I
three
think he
point
has more
shot,
craft than Derek too, like just dribble craft. Derek didn't really have everything. Scoot has
no,
everything. Like if you're trying to wall him up on the baseline, he's going to use his side speed and dribble craft to get and straight line it. We're talking about an MVP caliber play, a Hall of Fame caliber player. If he
yeah,
hits,
I think there's a lot of Russ in terms of his personality. There's a lot of Russ in terms of just his vicious finishing around the rim, just the authority that he can punish the rim with, that burst off of 1 foot, like Russ was able to do back in OKC. I mean, there's bits and pieces of what he can do. I think he's got a little bit of Ja Morant in terms of the body control around the rim. Clearly, there's no one-to-one comparison, but these are the types of players that you're looking to get, and this is why he's like the hottest prospect. Everyone knows Wembanyama. San Antonio is not even
safe.
taking phone
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah.
Like Portland is lucky that it was Charlotte that won the second overall pick because anybody else is taking Scoot Henderson. I
Mhm.
mean, I firmly believe that Charlotte may still take Scoot, but there's a
Charlotte
reason why
should take Scoot.
there's a reason you're hearing all of these teams wanting to move up. It's not for Brandon Miller.
Mm.
It's for Scoot Henderson. All right, Sage, that was a good breakdown of Scoot. That was our final prospect breakdown of this draft cycle. I think it's fitting that it was probably our favorite prospect